Welcome back to episode 118 of the Disorganized Club podcast. My name is Alex, and here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hey.
We're a group of auto-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Most certainly.
In particular, we have some stories about a tournament this episode.
In particular, we played anything and everything we could qualify for this weekend.
Yes.
We were just out there grinding.
I could have played more, but I was pretty tired on Sunday.
But you played a PTQ.
Yeah.
You played a...
So I did one standard double up, one on-demand draft, and one PTQ.
That's it? That's all you played?
Yeah.
How many
He only
boxes
lost-
you in?
he only lost
And one Turbo Town.
He only lost like 3 matches over the whole weekend, though. Pretty good. Unfortunately, one of them was in the top 8 of a PTQ.
Fuck.
I mean, at least it was in the top 8.
Yeah, true.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
And that, it was a bad matchup, and my opponent, high rolled on Smart and G, so, you know.
Yeah, did you see his draft deck?
Yeah.
The top 8 draft deck?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I noticed it was pretty good as I was drafting it when I got past in pack 2. So, pack 1, I first picked Theater of Horrors,
Mm-hmm.
and then passed a Biomancer's Familiar at some point, some other good blue and green cards. So I thought I might get, some red or black removal early, a Skewer the Critics or something. I would have been stoked early pack 2. But I got past Judith and then Rakdos the Showstopper. And I was like,
Hell yeah.
these go pretty well with this Theater of Horrors.
Yeah, it was. Your deck was nuts.
So I thought I'd do better than I did, but my opponent's deck was also really good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how you do in that sealed, and then you just.
Oh, my sealed pool was
I know.
bad on the face of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember going over and looking, and I was looking with someone, Josh, maybe,
yeah.
and we were walking around, looking for you, and then we saw you kind of building, but we couldn't fully see.
Mhm.
But we were looking around, and I think Brandon had double Ethereal Absolution. I kept seeing all these bomb decks, just insane cards, and I didn't see any bombs from yours. And then I saw your sealed pool later, and it wasn't. It was just
Yeah, so a friend of ours, Jacob too, had a bunch of bombs. He was playing 4-color, Ethereal Absolution, just a bunch of nuts things. And everyone's like, oh, this deck's nuts. He's never going to lose. But then obviously he had mana issues and lost a round.
yeah.
But yeah, so what were my rares? I had,
Didn't you play 2?
and I played 1. I had a Godless Shrine, and so I opened Godless Shrine, Stomping Grounds, Rampage of the Clans, Foil Cindervines, Lumbering Bombardment, Sphinx of Foresight, and a Judith.
Nice.
I played the Judith.
You had a bunch of really good uncommons. though,
Right,
which kinda
that's what
brought
saved it.
together.
Is that alongside 4, Cindervines doesn't really count because it was foil, but alongside 3 unplayable rares,
Mhm.
I had 2 Rakdos Firewheelers and a Fireblade Artist and a Hack Roll Bat and 2 Skewers and a Scorch Mark and Consigned to the Pit, and then just other good, an Orzhov Enforcer, that 2/2 with Death Touch, just really good Rakdos commons and uncommons to go with the Judith, and they just rolled over people. Only lost the Rakdos Mirror in round 4 when I mulled to 5 game 3.
And then you still squeaked into the top 8.
Yeah, because I got paired up the next round against a 10-pointer and smashed him. Beat him game 1 with the Daggercaster Blade Brand combo after he played out his hand of 5/5s.
Hell yeah.
And the best part, so he had 7 mana, played the 5/5 Sphinx the turn prior, and the next turn played a Mammoth Spider, and then played the 2/1 Wayfinder. Looks at the top of his deck, puts a Forest back on top. Then I Daggercaster Blade Brand him, attack him for 9. He's untaps, draws, sees the Forest. He's oh yeah, and concedes.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
But yeah, deck ended up really good, just off the backs of commons and uncommons, which is
Just doing honest work.
yeah.
Yeah, I think people really underestimate. We've talked about this a lot. You see, there's always this myth of the bomb sealed deck just filled with unbeatable rares. It's so uncommon that they're actually consistent enough to just smash. If they are that consistent, then okay, yeah, sure, they're going to go undefeated. But a lot of the times, the work of sealed decks is done by just these uncommon and common workhorses that just sort of carry games and carry matchups, the Daggercaster Blade Brand combo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how a lot of sealeds end up being won, right? So
Yeah, Blade Brand was nuts. I also got someone by Blade Branding Judith, and then all her triggers had Death Touch
that's
when she traded in combat.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
The machine gun.
Yeah, it just like had some powerful synergy in it and like good enough cards that I could like have fast starts, chip people down, and then like skewer them out later, or Fireblade artists like start chucking things at them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess luckily I didn't play against like any huge, like really good Gruul decks because I was a bit short on removal for anything bigger than a 3/3. Because that's what happened in top 8 is like I had a similar like Rakdos deck, not as much removal, but just like better creatures. And my opponent just played 4/4s and 5/5s and then adapted them into 7/7s, and I just couldn't do anything and died.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, Adam and I played the main event, GP Toronto. I played Tron to the surprise of no one. You played Mono Red Phoenix. How'd that go?
I don't know. I went 5-3. My third loss to was against Boggles. It was actually incredibly heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I played that match so well. Like game 1, he just like nut draws me with Boggles, and it's close. Like I'm a card off killing him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it has to be like the exact off of like a looting so like I blocked with a Phoenix and like bolted my Phoenix because he went like Boggle into like double enchantment, coronet enchantment.
Yeah.
And like that's I'm playing burn basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had nothing with trample, so I like blocked with Phoenix, bolted my own Phoenix, and my hope is like I had 3 Phoenix in the bin at this point. My hope was that I could looting into I already had another bolt in hand or like 3 damage spell, but I needed to draw a lightning bolt gut shot so that I could gut shot him for free, skewer him, get my Phoenix back after the looting, attack for 9, and bolt the one he blocks because he has a reach like Spider Umbra.
Yeah.
So, and I need exactly those spells and I win because he's at like 6, and I'm like crossing my right, like my Faithless Looting needs to be exact, and it wasn't, and I lost. But I like played to over like a few turns to try and set this up so that I could win. Didn't win, and I was like, so close, you know. Like, it's like playing. I was on the draw, so like, yeah, I'm just not winning, right?
Yeah.
Against Boggles doing that. There's Cornet, and then game 2. It was such a great modern match. So game 2, I just Blood Moon him, and so he goes. I go land go because my hand's really awkward, but my hope is he just plays Spirit Dancer because I don't know. That's my hope, right? Okay, so land go. I play my second land pass. He plays his second land, plays Spirit Dancer. I bolt it, untap Blood Moon him. He never plays another spell, and just eventually I cast turn 4 Phoenix, hit him for 3 till he dies.
Yeah.
Like actually this whole match was so miserable. Game 3, I get him to 3.
Yeah.
I loot away 2 lands. And then over 6 draw steps, I need to draw 3 damage, and I never do. And he draws Coronet and kills me. And anything in my deck kills him.
Yeah.
And I draw lands. So I pitch away 2, have 6 in play, 5 or 6 in play, and then it's 5 or 6 in hand in the 18 land deck. And the looting was a flashback, so I don't have another shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a heartbreaker. Such a fun format. And then my like other loss was I got turn 3'd by Dredge, and twice, like you saw.
Yeah, and didn't you get absolutely like you got turn 3'd by Blue Red Phoenix as well?
By Blue Red Phoenix. Those were my losses. Just like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
Like the guy, I actually like couldn't believe it. Like the guy on Phoenix, like turn 1 looting, pitch 2 Phoenixes, turn 2 Metamorphose, bolt you, take it for 6. Untap, bolt you, take it for 6. I was like, oh, that's all 4 bolts. And then in game 2, it was like a little slower. He killed me on turn 4 doing the same thing, like looting Phoenix. Then he played a Terramander, and I like gut shotted it. I was like, nice, got him. You know, like it's like kind of stoked. And then he bolted me, and then bolted something I played, and then bolted me. And then I was at 6, and I had a Phoenix in play, and so he had 2 Phoenixes. And yeah, well, I'll block. You know, hopefully you don't have like the 4th bolt. Like I'm willing to, you know, I'm gonna lose to it. Just
Has the 4th.
yeah, just
Yeah.
plays 8 bolts in 7 turns in 2 games. Like, okay. I was like, I almost was like, judge, like, how many bolts does this guy have in his deck? Like, but yeah, it's just extreme variance. But
Yeah.
I also, it's funny, like there were some matches I won where I played pretty badly. So I don't know, who knows? Like, you know, it's whatever. Like I didn't play great because, yeah, this was like I guess it's not like the thematic topic for getting better, but Yeah, so I played, Mono Red Phoenix and Goldfarb, who's like top 8 at some GPs, or he won a GP recently, and pretty good player. He played the same deck, thinking on the same logic that I did. All these people were, wow, this guy like 16-0. He like wrote articles about how he's 16-0 at SCG and all this. Oh, okay, it's got to be nuts. And I just like didn't think about it and how it related to the rest of the format or like the mirror, and just like played the 75. And except for one card difference. And the deck, like without lightning axes, is terrible because like you only have Phoenix looting, to get rid of Phoenix, or like one of 2 Bedlam Revelers, but that's really awkward. And the deck was just like medium, and it doesn't have free wins. You think it might, but it doesn't. And every match, besides like Tron, if I got to play against Tron every round, it's just free wins, right? But I didn't. Yeah. Every match is just like a slog. Like it's such a grind. It feels like such a sweat. It felt like I was winning by like the smallest margin possible. It was just, I will say, it was fun for that reason. Like that was the one redeeming factor of playing Modern for that many rounds. It was like definitely an adrenaline. Every game and every match was not easy. Like I had no free wins. It was a sweat. It was hard. Yeah, I should have, as I pointed out on the podcast, should have played Black Green, which put 2 copies in the top 8, and everyone flamed me for wanting to play it. And I even said, like, play it with Kalidas, like 2 copies. I brought, like, Cam gave me 3 Kalidas, and like, he was like, here you go. And I was like, sweet. And then I was going to play it, but everybody flamed me back to the Stone Age, and I should have believed in myself.
You got to take my name out of that, everyone.
Yeah, you didn't flame me.
Mm-hmm. Well, he flamed you for playing Modern.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was all I flamed you for.
Yeah. He didn't flame my deck choice. He was the only one who didn't. But
I gave you the Kalidas.
Yeah. He was trying to encourage me, actually, because I need to get the memes, like, believe in yourself. But yeah, like, the deck is a sweat, and that's fun. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, I assume it's the exact opposite with Tron. Like, once you won, you're like, this is in the bag. Like, there's no coming back for this guy. Just Ulamog, there's only 2 lands. Like, this game's over, right? Whereas Mono Red, you're like, oh God, like, please don't let them hose me with some random card. Like, if they gain 3, I don't know if I can ever come back. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. So although I did win a game against the Wilderness Reclamation Nexus Modern deck, where my opponent gained 20. Paul Samarasa gained 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he cast the Life Goes On that gained 8 because he Devour Fleshed my guy.
Ooh.
Then he cast Life Goes On and gained 8. And then he cast a Paul Samarasa and then Snap Paul Samarasa. And I still killed him. So I had to do 40 damage to him with my Mono Red Burn deck. And I got
2
him.
Pulse and 2 Life Goes On.
One Life Goes On.
Yeah, sure.
Jeez.
So yeah, he gained 20. I still got him. But it was a sweat.
That's sweet.
So like I still had some like,
yeah,
it was fun in the sense of like, it really gets your blood pressure up,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I played Tron, and I had a really bad day 1. I lost that matchup lottery we've mentioned before real bad. Like, let me tell you, I got paired against Burn 4 out of 8 rounds. And I don't know, recently I've been hearing people say like the Tron versus Burn matchup is, kind of close. Any matchup you have to sideboard 11 cards in, you can't tell me it's close. Like, it's absolutely insane. So I went 2-2 against it, which, seems
Sounds
great.
close.
Sounds close, but like, man, the losses were just so bad. I just got like turn 3'd 2 out of, 3 games. I played 2 lands and died. Like, what? Yeah, like if any deck can turn 3 me like that and all I can do is play 2 lands like that, the matchup's not good. I'm sorry.
No, it's definitely not.
I got paired against Mill as well.
Worst possible. You even joked about it on the drive down. You're like, watch, I'm going to get paired versus Mill round 1. It wasn't round 1.
It was round 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you called it. You're like, I'm going to get paired versus Mill. And everyone's like, oh, is that a bad matchup? You're like, you literally can't do anything.
You just can't win ever in a million years. You like so many things have to go right. You have to play like a turn 3 Karn, start pounding lands. You have to play a turn 4 Ulamog and pound the rest of his lands. And at any point in that, you have to have him never mill you and surgical your Tron lands. You like And everything has to come together perfectly,
So you're
which
saying
is impossible.
You can beat the mill deck if they don't mill you.
Yeah, exactly. So game 1, I mulled to 3. I shipped back.
That's a good strategy against mill.
I shipped back all these unplayable hands. Like not a single one of my hands I sent back had a Tron land in them. So I'm like, okay, cool. Get to 3. Look at like Ulamog, Chromatic Star, and Tron land. I'm like, hell yeah, we can do this. Scry to the bottom, like play my land, go. He's like, all right, turn 1 Overgrown Tomb. I'm like, Overgrown Tomb? So you're saying there's a chance. I'm playing against a black-green deck. This is great.
Gonna ranch this dumb idiot.
And
Yeah.
then I don't even remember what I did on turn 2. I don't think I played a second land, but and then he goes, okay, turn 2, Island, Glimpse the Unthinkable. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Come on, man. He's playing with my heart like that, thinking I had a chance. He milled me for 10, and I'm like, yeah, I'm dead. We're gonna go to game 2. And I got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the best.
You did 2-0 a burn deck though.
I did 2-0 a burn deck.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Matchup confirmed close.
Yeah.
He got me to 1 life in game 1. And
Close.
then I dodged to the top of his deck for 2 turns. And that was enough to play a Worm Coil and gain 6 life. And then the game was over. And then game 2, I never assembled Tron. Played a turn 4 Thought Not Seer to get a Skull Crack out of his hand. And he had 2 bolts. So his 2 bolts got me down to 3. So the Thought Not Seer won the game for me, essentially, because 2 turns later, I got to go Thrag Tusk and then Thrag Tusk the turn after. So
That'll do it.
yeah.
That guy didn't have enough spears.
No. So a lot has to go right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, our tournament wasn't great, but 0 buys. I'm not too choked about going 5-3. I would have liked to have just made it into day 2 and then dropped.
Yeah. And, I mean, I was
Just dropped
X3.
'cause
I was
that deck was
X3
terrible.
going into the last round and got paired again in the love of the game bracket. Got paired against Jeskai, which is like a good matchup for Tron. And
that game was
You
nuts.
saw the game 1. It was a 30-minute game where he literally answered every threat in my entire deck.
Yeah.
I did not have any threats left. He just answered everything.
Yeah, it's Jeskai control, which is
it's
insane.
insane.
It's just the sequencing of your threats lined up perfectly with the answers he had. Like it just everything lined up perfectly, and it was still just like this 30-minute grind where he just slowly had to go through all of Tron's threats. It was pretty sweet to watch, actually, and it was a cool match.
And he 2-0'd me, and both games I cast 2 Ulamogs, both games,
Yeah.
and I lost.
Yeah, how nuts is that?
That's wild.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've never cast 2 Ulamogs in a game and lost.
I wonder if anyone's ever done that before.
Yeah, no, that guy's a god.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Speaking of gods, big shout outs to local burn legend, Benoit, who went X3, who went 12-3 at the GP and got his, making sure that the internet sees his 61 card burn list, which I talked to him about, and his justification is great. He's like, well, like 20-40, like the land ratio is not ideal. So like you want under 20% land ratio, so like 19.7, that's the sweet spot. And he's like, plus it's not like other decks where you're trying to draw your bombs. It's like, this is burn. All cards do the same thing. He's like, except for Eidolon, that card's special. It's so funny talking to him about it. Yeah.
And also shout out to Andrew Novarai,
Oh, big shout outs.
friend of the show, top 8'd the GP with Titan Shift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Retired DWC member, Michael Brierly's roommate, Andrew.
former roommate.
Former roommate.
They
Oh, yeah,
played
right.
the exact same 75. Mike gave him all his sideboard notes and his deck list. And
Andrew was going to play
Andrew
side
top-
events. He
yeah.
didn't want to play the main event, and he top 8'd playing Titan Shift.
yeah, they had a actually very good tournament. Mike went at X4, Andrew top 8'd and lost in the semis. But I think collectively they went X1 on day 2
Yep.
with Titan Shift. Like
Yeah.
they had a very good tournament.
Yeah, actually, they did go X1 on day 2. They were playing Corsair Krufix main.
Yeah, I have
so
the
that
deck
they
list
could,
right here.
so that they could dodge.
Just gain some life against burn.
Yeah, just 2. But I mean, that's going to be good enough in a lot of places. They have a bunch of obstinate bells. That's pretty standard for their deck. I like the one of Carnage Tyrant.
Nice.
Yeah.
In the sideboard, yeah.
Yeah, they have flame slashes and
Yeah, double Anger of the Gods main, 2 Flame Slash.
yeah, Anger of the Gods is like I watched Mike play some games. Mike's like semi-retired, so it's funny to see him like because it's the only deck he'll play at a tournament, right? Is
Yeah, he only ever
because like
plays Titan
he
Shift.
sold everything else and like doesn't even own any other modern cards anymore, And Yeah, I watched him just play against Dredge and just like game one, just anger the gods, the guy just get everything. And I was like, oh boy. Got like his blood gas, his like prized amalgams. I was like, wow, this guy actually can't come back. Like there's nothing. This is over. Like the guy just lost on the spot.
Yeah, Andrew said he had a game against a game one against Blue Red Phoenix where the guy like turn 2 played thing in the ice. And so he like cast his suspended search for tomorrow or whatever. And then flame slash the thing in the ice. And the guy's like, what do you mean flame slash? And then the next turn, like, loots away some stuff, casts some more things, bring back 2 Phoenixes, hits him for 6. And he's like, yeah, okay, like untap, anger the gods you. And the guy just like has nothing left.
Yeah, no, like they definitely played to beat that deck. And then also, I think that they're pretty safe versus the field that would do well also versus that deck for day 2. Like they were just well positioned.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was sweet to see.
Yeah, this is like Andrew's like 12th Pro Tour that he qualified for. He's played a lot.
I know. But aside from that, I mean, Grix's Death Shadow won the tournament, which like, man.
Looks pretty standard.
It's one of those decks, right? It's just always around, always doing fine, and like no one's surprised that it won a tournament.
Yeah, it's like modern Jund. Like it's playable Jund, right? That although I say that and Black Green actually just put the most copies in the top 8, but
well, I mean, is it Phoenix put 2 copies in the top 8 as well?
So they tied, yeah.
Then there was a Dredge deck and a Whir Prison deck.
The Whir Prison deck. So our friend Hemsley, noted hardened scales aficionado, lost to this in the semis of the modern PTQ. And like the Whir deck is wild. Ray was playing it as well. I talked to Ray about it for a bit. Ray Future Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was playing it, and it looks nuts. And also just really well positioned for this weekend.
Yeah,
it's really obnoxious deck.
It's one of those weird decks. I've never actually played against it or watched it get played. So
it's not fun for you. It was Tron. It's actually miserable.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be great.
Yeah, for mostly one reason. They just like Sorcerer Spyglass you out of the game, right?
Yeah.
They just name Karn, then they name like Ulamog.
Well,
what is naming Ulamog?
Or not Ulamog, Ugin.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Ugin
but Ugin
does
like
nothing in this
Ugin, no, because Ugin can just kill them. Like tick up.
No, I think they'd probably just name Oblivion Stone.
Oh yeah, O-Stone, yeah, sorry.
But
it depends, because they play what's it called? Bobble. Like I watched a play where a guy like bobbled his opponent, saw Karn on top. He's like, nice, like Spyglass you, name Karn, go. The guy like draws, he's like, oh, sweet. Like he's like, oh. Pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty interesting. Like they can wear out Damping Sphere,
which
is obviously very good.
They're just like a prison deck, right? It's like
they
just slowly like shut down. But I guess like if you get ahead as Tron, it's like pretty good for you, right? They have a hard time
I mean,
back.
Tech Edge, Crucible World's pretty good.
How do they kill you, main?
Pirate Spellbomb
How do they loop it?
with Academy Runes.
Yeah, they just
okay.
Academy runes you out of the game.
Yeah, it's not fast. Kills you real slow, but
Yeah, post board they'll bring in like Tezzerets and kill you if they need, or like Aether Grid. There's
Makes
lots of
sense.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw the things in the sideboard, but they were all in the sideboard, it seemed.
yeah. So keep in mind, I'm saying this was 0 experience, but I actually don't think this matchup's bad for Tron. Looking at it right now, I mean, a turn 2 Chalice is probably pretty good, though. Actually, I take it back. They play Chalice of the Void. I missed that card.
That's what.
Playing a turn 1 Chalice is like really bad for Tron.
Yeah, because I only say this because I watched the Tron matchup versus this a few times, and like Tron just couldn't do anything. Like it just felt like they got locked out pretty easily both times that I watched it.
Yeah, and like looking for Welding Jar to protect the hate pieces against your key planeswalkers or no stone, like that's real rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with this deck being good though. But rough matchup for Hardened Scales though too. It like seems miserable for him. Like he looked miserable the whole time.
I'm like, because this deck lost to Grixis Death Shadow in the finals, and I have no idea how Death Shadow beats it.
Dylan and I were actually messaging each other going, how? How did they lose to Death Shadow? And I thought it had to have just been their Ensnaring Bridge God Ceremonies rejection, and they never drew Chalice.
Yeah, they must have missed Chalice. Probably, is this guy playing?
And they got Stubborn Denialed.
Yeah, Stubborn Denial, missing Chalice, and then
like
one Kolaghan's command in the sideboard. That's it.
Yeah, that's for sure what happened. They
or
just
if the game goes late enough, it could be like Stubborn Denial, a Whir of Invention, untap like Kolaghan's Command, the bridge, double strike you.
Yeah, and then or like Temur Battle Rage kill you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Shadow can get lucky, but it definitely, I think, has to get lucky.
Stubborn now, probably really good.
But the guy who won was packing some stubborn denials, right? So,
yeah, 4. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I think it's surprising that he won, but I could see it. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
but
Death
think
Shadow's
it's
just one of those decks, right? That it could just take down a tournament any weekend. Like, it has tools to fight everything.
Yeah.
And, 2 is at Phoenix deck's not really a surprise. Lots of people on this deck this past weekend.
Yeah, I saw a ton of it. I saw
Yeah.
I saw the Rug one, like the Ryan Overturf. I think it was they had this in Mono Red Phoenix had to be the most played deck, right, at the tournament.
If
And
you were,
Burn.
if you were to play a Phoenix deck again, would you which of the 3 would you go for?
None.
Yeah, that's why I said if.
But if you had,
I'd play the Traverse one because it's fun.
Okay, that's fair.
I would. Yeah, I mean the Blue Red one. I like that you get to play Blood Moon, so that's I think something worth considering.
interesting that they're starting to play Surgical Extraction main deck now.
Yeah, just for another free spell. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like fine. The Phoenix deck, I think the Blue Red one is fine. I think that Thing in the Ice lines up pretty well. I like that this guy was playing, again, we've seen other people do this, the Pyromancer Ascension main. I think that's super good.
Mm-hmm.
I would consider that. I think that's really strong. If I played Modern again, I just play Black-Green. I also think that Jeskai Control was still like decently positioned for this tournament.
Yeah.
And I still think so. I just don't think a lot of people played it. Like I think it was probably underplayed. But I did see some on day 2. Like I saw a couple playing on day 2 when I was looking around. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like trying not to hate on Modern too much.
Yeah. I mean, I had a better second day playing Modern in the PTQ. I went 4-1, missed top 8 by match.
Yeah.
I just played against better matchups. I had a much better matchup lottery on that.
Yeah, you
in
didn't
that
play Burn
event.
4 times.
Yeah, I didn't play it once. So
Oh,
I
see, that's
actually
nuts.
win. It was great.
You know what happened? Because all the Burn players scrubbed out and then we're like, I'm never playing Burn again. You know, it was like people were pretty hateful this weekend to Burn. Like, again, I said if I would have played Black-Green, I brought a bunch of Kalitas with me and I was going to play Collective Brutality main. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would have been out there hating on Burn as well. And it's exactly what the top 8 Black-Green decks were doing. So, yeah, I could see somebody playing it and they going, God, this is, this sucks. I'm never playing this again, and then they register something fun or mid-rangey the next day.
Get troned.
And then they get troned. And you're just there waiting in the wings for them.
It's almost like anything you play in Modern is miserable.
See, Cam told me just not to play because you said you were like, if you play Black-Green, you're just going to complain that you were dumb enough to play a fair deck, which you still might be right because I could have just got paired against you all day.
Yeah.
But Cam, Galaxy Brain Cam, we figured this out. You had the, what's it called? The Solar System Brain.
Yeah.
Where you're like, no, don't play that deck. You'll be miserable, which is Solar System. You're correct. Be miserable regardless. But Cam was like, no matter what deck you choose, you will be miserable because you're playing Modern, which is the Galaxy Brain approach. And he's like, no matter what you play, Adam, you will be completely upset about your choices and just hate yourself by the end of the day.
So something I noticed in particular on Sunday, so during day 2, walking around the venue. Now, normally, if I'm at Tower or wherever, just talking to people, and they ask, what formats do you play? Do you play Modern? And I say, no, I don't like Modern. I usually get a lot of flack. Modern's great. I like Modern. My deck's awesome, whatever. I don't know. A lot of people like it. How could you say it's bad? They just banned whatever. Now the format's great. But on Sunday, in the side events, I was playing against a lot of people who played the main event day 1. And when they asked me if I played the main event, I'm like, no, Modern's trash. Why would I do that? They all agreed with me.
Everyone who even played in the main event were like, yeah, you're right. Just resigned to their fate.
No, but you're totally right. If you would have played Black-Green, I played against a Black-Green deck in the PTQ and I was on the draw for game 1. I mulled to 5 and he turn 1 thought seized me and I smashed him.
Yeah. No, it's definitely still not.
And then I smashed him game 2 as well. I'm like this, I felt so bad. So I'm just top decking like a god and nothing he does matters.
Yeah.
And that could just happen.
Those matchups are pretty unusual in Standard, but I did have one of those matchups in Standard. And I think that is Nexus versus some like dumpy mid-range deck, which is I mulled to 4 against Bant mid-range playing Nexus and just easily won. Like he just couldn't, he like frilled Mystic something and then just died the next turn. Like
So you were playing Bant Nexus with Teferi and Depose Deploy as your win con?
Oh, Depose Deploy is nuts. Yeah, it's super good.
Mhm.
Because you can just kill people who force you to go through the combo.
Yeah.
So you can just kill people with it. But also, you don't auto-lose to aggro decks because you can block and gain life. I did lose some on a red one match, but I feel like I got pretty unlucky. Like he nut drew me and I mulled. Like I mulled the games and he nut drew me. Like I'm not saying the matchup's good. It's definitely not.
I was watching your game one. It was like all check lands with no basic typed lands.
Yeah.
And you cast like 2
I saw
ops.
the start of that.
I cast 3 ops and just constantly whiffed after.
And that was
bottoming.
it?
Yeah, and then just died. Like my hand was like I kept the hand with like, okay, this beats probably everything except for, like mono red exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was mono red and I died. And then I was on the play next game and I mauled and just like he had actual like the nut exactly to kill me. So yeah, like it happens. But yeah, I played against like a Bambi rage deck and it just I actually like felt guilty. Played like a turbo thing against some black green guy still playing black green. Not even, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, not normal black green, like glow spore shaman, Stitcher
like,
supplier.
I
Like
actually like felt bad because like they just can't interact with you. You're just trolling playing Nexus. Like I actually felt kind of guilty about it.
but you just like you can't play those like slow mid range decks in standard at the moment. Like something that doesn't have a way to bury its opponent. These things trying to like play ahead of the rate, like ahead of the curve cards or like incrementally do whatever black green's trying to do. Like you will get crushed by Bant Nexus or Esper Control. Like they're too linear. Like I played against a Red White Angels deck and it just wasn't close. Nothing was threatening. Nothing. I just
Like playing Esper Control?
I just had absorbs and mortifies and thought erasured a Banefire. But like the Banefire wasn't even an issue because I had absorbs. Like just not it. There was never any contention.
Yeah.
So those decks are just not good enough in the face of new Esper and Bant.
But yeah, aside from having to play Modern all weekend, I actually had a really good time. Like we met some listeners from podcasts. We met
the
Pie
weekend
Boy
as a
from the
whole was
Discord.
great.
Oh, the weekend was fun as hell.
We met the guys from the Commander's Brew podcast. Shout out to Sean and Andy. Sean came out with us and had some beers.
Yeah, it was
Saturday
awesome.
night.
Yeah, it was super fun talking to them. It was super fun talking. They're great. It was awesome. It was a super fun weekend. Just nice seeing everybody. Sal from Face to Face saw me, like the owner of Face to Face Games. He saw me outside. He's like, "Huh, I thought you were retired." And I'm like, "Semi." And he's like, I'm gonna play more now. He's like, "Oh yeah, because you were finishing school, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, good to see you back." So I was like, I felt good to play events again, though, man. Like, I will say that playing sides is sweet value, but there is something playing in the main event of like the level of competitive. Like, I love that. All my opponents were. I also will say, like, I felt like all my opponents were just like good people. You know what I mean? Like, no one was like really salty or like pissed off in Modern. Like, they just understood. They were in on the joke. Like, they got it. Like, my 5 wins, like going 5 and 3, like nobody was like salty, like ever. Everyone was just super friendly. Like, even when I got turn 3 by Dredge, I was like, "Oh, thanks for the match, man." Like,
yeah, everyone understood what they were there, what they signed up for.
right. Like, you know what you're getting into. So it was just, I don't know, super fun weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask, if you want to check out the Commander's Brew podcast, where can you do that?
Well, you can find it wizardtower.com. Great sponsor of this podcast.
Oh, wizardtower.com sponsors?
Wizardtower.com. You can also go there for all your Magic single needs. Free shipping on singles in Canada. Great sponsor of this podcast. Yeah.
Check them out. They're even staying open late tonight in this inclement weather.
Oh yeah, the weather's crazy here.
Yeah.
We are having a terrible, terrible winter storm
Yeah,
currently.
all the universities and schools are closed, staying closed. But Tower, fighting through it for the love of the game. They're in the weather version of the love of the game bracket. Dude, playing in the love of the game bracket is actually great though. It's like,
Is it?
yeah, it's the Reed Duke strat, man. I've always respected that about him.
Dude, I played Reed Duke in the Love of Game bracket.
I remember it was
GP New York.
Yeah, wasn't it like
couple years
X5?
ago.
Like,
X4.
oh, that's not the love of
X5? No, was it
it
X5?
has to be X5 because X4 is money. That's not the love of the game bracket.
Yeah,
You
I
can
don't
money
remember.
on X4.
All
Was
I
this
remember-
day 2 or day 1?
Day 2.
Oh.
All I
X5
remember-
and day 1.
Yeah, That's day 1.
That's definitely love of the game
That's
bracket.
100% love it. I've played in that bracket actually.
Yeah.
I played for going X5 or not in the love of the game bracket. It was like 2 or 3 years ago at GP Montreal. sealed, and my seal pool was like, everyone always says like my seal pool sucked, and then I look at it and I'm like, your seal pool's great. Like you just built it terribly. My seal pool was actually bad. Like it.
That's what they all say.
No, it was really bad. And I played to see if I could win a match. And I won in like round 7 because I had 2 buys.
Yeah.
And I won in round 7 and was like, all right, I'm dropping. I won a match. I was playing a guy who was like 2 and 4, but
jeez.
yeah, I was
You
definitely.
want a pair up?
No, I was also 2 and 4.
Oh, well then.
I had 2 buys.
Oh, right.
But yeah, in case
quote unquote 2 and 4.
Yeah.
in case anyone was wondering, I absolutely smashed Reed Duke in the love of the game bracket.
That was standard, right?
Yeah, it was standard. It was I was playing Mardu vehicles, so it was that standard.
Oh, of note. Okay, so also in this, I don't know why this made me think of it because that standard had tireless tracker. That's why.
Yeah.
Tireless tracker looks so sweet and modern still. It has for a long time, but this tournament it popped off, man. Lots in the black green decks and the scape shift decks that Mike and Andrew were playing.
Yep.
They're really like shaping the meta of the scape shift, hopefully, for people to start playing more of that card consistently. I think it's phenomenal in modern. I got a weird look from somebody when I said, I think a card's insane in modern. And really, it's so slow. Yeah, but there are matchups where that's, you know what I mean? That's nuts. And just the value it creates. Also, Dylan with the best blowout story.
Oh yeah, that was so. I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, where the guy like he has like 6 clues or something from tireless tracker, and the guy's like attack you with Emrakul, and he's like, yeah, go to 2. He's like, but also put 6 counters on my tireless.
Yeah, sack all these.
Oh, because it's sacrifice.
Yeah, sack all the clues to the Annihilator trigger. Put 6 counters on my Taoist track. You attack, you kill you.
Yeah, and he attacked him back for lethal, killed him. His opponent's like, wait, that's not how that works. And he's like, it says sacrifice, dude. I'll judge if you want. It's nuts, eh?
There was a bunch of good blowout stories from this weekend.
Oh, this
yeah.
weekend was insane.
There were some good commandeers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
okay.
there's a few commandeers. Which one do you want to tell?
Tell the Teferi one.
Oh, yeah. Poor Ben. That whole
Yeah.
match is just like tragic for him.
Yeah.
He's playing the control mirror. Ben played blue-white control, which is suicidal. Maybe. I would have played Just Guy, obviously, instead. Because you need lightning helix.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to later as well. But Ben tries to, a few things happen actually here. First, he tries to, in control mirror, I think this is a reasonable thing to do, is he brings in surgical extraction and he tries to surgical extraction cryptic command, which in the mirror is one of the best cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his opponent casts in response Shadow of Doubt. Players can't search libraries.
Yeah. So Ben gets to look at his hand, but can't search his library for the rest of the cryptics.
So like,
Has to exile the cryptic he targeted.
And
So
then-
he can't surgical any more
yeah.
cryptics.
with a snapcaster,
Yeah.
which he has a snap in hand, but he can't snap. Yeah, so that hurts. And then he keeps tanking. Like, what's going on with my opponent? Like, what's he doing? Like, why has he got all these cards in hand? He's not doing anything. He's like, he thinks for a while, and then he just, screw it, and like plays Teferi. And his opponent commandeers his Teferi. Just takes his Teferi.
You want to tell the listeners what Commandeer does?
Yeah, I mean, you take control of a spell. It's a
Yeah.
7 mana. The guy hard cast it, by the way. You can also pitch 2 blue cards to cast it for free.
Mm-hmm.
The guy hard cast it. It's 7, right? Or is it 8?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You want to check?
Yeah.
But someone else, okay, so also of note, there were multiple taking turns decks at this tournament, which you love to see. You absolutely love to see.
So it's 7
Yeah,
mana.
it's 7 mana instant, yeah. And you can exile 2 blue cards from your hand instead of pay, and it's
Yeah.
gain control of target non-creature spell.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can take artifacts, planeswalkers, yeah. So anyway, like he gets his Teferi just hard cast commandeered, and he's like, well, he's like, I could have beat like it just getting cryptic, but so that was pretty rough. But anyway, there's a lot of actually blue-red taking turns lost the win in to Andrew for a top 8.
Yeah. 2 taking turns decks lost win and ins to top 8.
Yeah, so they were close. That deck's good right now. And I think I said this actually after GP Montreal when Davies was playing it a lot. He said, it's really good. And I got the list. I actually posted it in the Discord months and months ago, but maybe I'll repost it. But yeah, they lost their win and ins, but our friend Benoit got also commandeered on an insane one where his taking turns opponent tapped out. And because it's modern, you just don't think. And he's like, oh, you tapped out? You're you're at 3? He's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, Lightning Helix you. He's like, cool, Commandeer Lightning Helix. Like, you take 3, I gain 3. And Benoit loses. And that was one of Benoit's losses, like to go X3. Was one of the guys who played versus Andrew or whoever for the top 8. Yeah. Was the guy commandeered out of mono blue, like tapped out thinking, whatever. Just pitch these guys nuts, man. Commandeer just getting people. What a world, hey?
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Man.
Speaking of matchup lotteries, like, can blue-white control in Modern ever beat Merfolk? Can it? The god folk?
So you're saying this because Ben got absolutely destroyed by Merfolk, right?
Multiple times. Played against Merfolk more than once. Dude, like,
he was ranting about it on the drive back, but I didn't realize he got paired against it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he was so upset.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
That's probably why he hates mono blue and standard too.
Yeah.
He's just too close to each other.
Can you believe that a person we consider a friend doesn't like mono blue?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Do we need to rethink our whole friendship
Phil
with
hates
this person?
it. Phil hates it too.
I don't even bring up his name.
But that's just because, like, that guy hates islands. Like, he just hates islands. He only likes mountains.
But it's an attacking deck.
Yeah, but they're not in the right way,
doesn't
picky.
Doesn't turn creatures sideways in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plays counter spells, which Phil just hates. He's just the heart of a casual.
But yeah, is anyone surprised that mono blue won SCG Dallas this past weekend?
Nope, not at all.
No?
Both watching and playing in like the standard events, like the double ups and like all the events that had a lot of people playing at the GP, like those side events were huge.
Yeah.
Like there were massive amounts of people in there, like 100-person tournaments, right? More than that, actually.
Yeah, the sealed PTQ was like 110. I think the modern PTQ was like 200 or some.
Yeah, like just tons of people. And none of, like, everyone I talked to and all the games I watched, everyone said the same thing. They're like, I can't beat mono blue. I actually can't beat that deck. Multiple people. When I signed up to play Nexus, all I did was cross my fingers that I didn't play against mono blue. And I talked to a guy, Travis from Halifax, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm playing mono blue. He's like, just keep getting paired against like dumb Nexus decks and like black or like Crisis decks. He's just smashing them. He's like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, please don't let me play you. Like you can't do anything.
Yeah. This deck looks almost the exact 75 of Alex Haynes' list.
Yeah.
That he's just been
That's what he's
stomping ladder with.
I think most people are just playing that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it more on Arena since Alexander Haynes sort of released his what he's been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some interesting decks though in this top 8. Yeah, this other one
is similar. Yeah.
Exact same list.
Yeah, it is actually.
2 of the same 75 in top 8. And then
the blue-white aggro deck though does have an okay, like it's basically mono-white aggro.
Yeah,
it actually has an okay mono-blue matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Like the white weenie deck has always had an okay mono-blue matchup.
Red's been fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we saw Simic Nexus, which is
just blue-green Nexus with, Crisis, Frilled Mystics.
Yeah.
Try and grow Spiral out an early Frilled Mystic.
I'm a big fan of these biogenic ooze in the sideboard.
4 biogenic ooze in the board. I'm a huge fan of that.
So I've been thinking about this too. Like, you want mana sinks to go with Reclamation for when you're not Nexusing. That thing's a nuts mana sink.
I didn't even know this was a card, by the way. The card you're looking
So,
at. Sagittars.
I knew this
Folly.
was a card because I had to register it and then put it aside and never think about it in sealed.
Destroy target creature with flying. It deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent control.
yeah, I was wondering why they would play that over a Crushing Canopy.
He's also playing 3 Crushing Canopy.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I don't know.
Mono blue, I guess.
Has
Kill a
to
Tempest
be.
Djinn and ping all the.
Yeah, and kill all the.
Yeah.
That's
kill
actually.
a Terramander, kill a Siren Storm Tamer.
That is actually.
Well,
nuts.
you're never killing a Siren Storm Tamer because they're never tapping out and they're just going to counter this. But
Yeah. I mean, you can dream.
yeah,
You can dream. It's a hopeful card.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of this deck get streamed online and like Frilled Mystic, man, that card's so good.
That card's sweet. Card's real sweet.
It's probably one of the best Frilled Mystic decks I've seen.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Is like finding the really good Frilled Mystic decks.
Yeah. Blink of an Eye plays so well with Frilled Mystic.
I lost to just like Frilled Mystic, blue green elves on Arena
Yeah.
playing Wilderness Reclamation and the Adapt elves. So they could like play their elves on tap, adapt them.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Main deck quenches, which I didn't think to play around.
Yeah, I didn't play around a Quench a couple times this weekend and got by it, but I don't care every time. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and then this Rakdos mid-range deck, which is like
Okay. I've played against this deck actually before this weekend on Arena a few times. It's insane. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's very good. I was playing. What was I playing?
This deck is really close to the Jun Chainwhirler deck I've been messing around with. It's very close.
It was shockingly good. I got smashed. I was playing the Bant Tokens deck that popped up here and there. I got crushed. Absolutely crushed. This guy smashed me. Like the guy playing Rakdos midrange, like he absolutely smashed me back to the Stone Age. I actually was shocked how badly I lost. Like I didn't do anything, and he annihilated me.
The carnivals seem weird.
Dude, I love Carnival.
No, it was unreal. I didn't think it'd be good, but
think of everything it kills, and then it's also Blightning.
Yeah. That's why it got me. Like it just kept killing like my Lano. It would like either kill my Lano or Elf.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Elf, Terramander,
Yeah.
every creature out of Mono Blue.
Yeah. And then like when you draw one late, and I'd be like holding
just dome
stuff,
you.
you just dome me and take my cards. And then Rick's Matty Reveler was also really annoying.
I'm hype about playing Siege Gang decks. That card's just
I lost
a good amount of fair fun.
I conceded on the spot multiple times to that card coming down. I was like, I'm playing like Bant Tokens. I'm dead. Like that card's lights out for me.
Maybe I'll try this.
And he was playing. This guy's not playing Bedevil's main, and the guy I played against was. That's one of the major differences here. Let me tell you, those Bedevils were nuts.
Yeah, Bedevil's been great.
Also,
I've been casting it.
Yeah. Also, this deck's just playing 4 Rekindling Phoenix. That card's insane. This was something that we noted in our testing during the deck dump, that one of the ways like the rug decks would be able to beat other mid-range decks was Rekindling Phoenix. Rekindling Phoenix is and has been just an absolute powerhouse in its entire standard career. Right? Like it was a part of the most oppressive deck for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's always been good. Like it's just an insane card. So big fan of this deck. Nice to see it do well. Man, standard's still wide open, hey?
Oh yeah, like this stuff cropping up.
Right. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then one Sultai deck in the top 8 as well.
Yeah.
Pretty standard. Nothing really new about this one, but yeah.
It's a lot of Assassin's trophies.
Yeah. Kills everything though. Best removal spell ever printed. Totally kills Tron. How is this deck supposed to lose to Tron?
I think that I understand in standard playing more copies of that currently though, because of the Simic Nexus decks and everything. Like,
Yeah.
you want to be able to hit Search Risk Contact because that's kind of their win condition if it flips,
Yeah,
because you don't really have another way to do it
yeah. That's how they bury you, is untapping.
with Search.
Untapping, yeah.
And you can tag a Wilderness Reclamation with it. So against them, it's not that bad because their land count doesn't actually matter with Wilderness Reclamation. Like, you know what I mean? Giving them a basic doesn't matter.
Yeah, you took away 4 mana.
Right, exactly. So when you think about it, it's just one of the rare corner cases in Standard where Assassin's Trophy is actually just really good value.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? And there's no probably better option. Like that gets both a land and an enchantment from them.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's there for. So,
Dude, there's 2 more copies of Mono Blue in the top 16.
yeah, dude. Stuff is everywhere.
Must have been the only 4 that registered.
Old Thomas Ross playing some
one
mono
in
white aggro
20th.
though. Wasn't that mono white aggro deck from old Thomas Ross?
White
Oh, yeah.
white cards.
Just white weenie without the.
Yeah, there it is.
WD
I was just
branches.
making sure Unbreakable Formation was in it.
Dude, that card is so unbelievably good.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I saw a guy at the GP at a side event playing like just Bant tokens or no, straight up green white tokens with like Loxodon and Growth Chamber Guardians and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was sweet. He was like comboing off on people, and then he had Unbreakable Formations and just watched him get his opponent like twice to opponent like Kai's Wrath. He's like, yeah, no, that card's actually really good, especially in tokens. It's insane.
Yeah.
White Weenie, it's insane.
I've been playing
He was
white.
playing 4 copies.
I've been playing White Weenie to like grind up best of 1 ladder, and like Unbreakable Formation has won me so many games. It's insane.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. It's like Esper players like trying to Kai's Wrath for my creatures. I cast it and then they concede.
Yeah, they just lose.
It's just so flexible. Yeah, like it's a main deck negate out of the mono white deck, or you just outsize the creature matchups.
Yeah.
Like that turn is insane. It's a more flexible version of what we were getting out of Song of Fraley's.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, which is perfect in the deck. That's exactly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, standard looking hype, modern looking miserable.
Well, luckily we don't have to play Modern
Yeah.
You never did.
for a while.
The SCG, Syracuse, Legacy, then Standard. So get to play the two good formats.
Well, one good format.
No, Legacy rules. Legacy's in such a good place right now. It's great.
Well,
I watched.
You can play Blue Red Delver, dude. You just read Blue Red Delver.
where
probably have
am
all the
I going to
cards.
get Blue Red Delver cards?
Oh, we have Blue Red Delver cards.
Yeah.
There's no rares in it. It's like Delver and Monastery and like Bedlam Revelers and Chain Lightnings. I have all those cards. And we have extra Volcanic Islands. You're good.
I watched one match of Legacy because some friends were like just jamming games against each other as I was talking to them, and one guy goes like, turn one Urborg like Thoughtseize, turn two Dark Depth Hexmage,
So yeah.
and then the guy drew for his turn and conceded to the 2020.
Look at that. That format rules. Here's the thing.
Dark Depths with Urborg is nuts.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. Like that deck sucks. Like mostly like
I mean, it
they
looked
have
pretty
to
good.
run hotter than the sun.
Well, yeah.
Also, Dylan and I were talking about this. It's like, like I just like blood moon some idiot, and then like I shouldn't call him that, but like I just mean like I'll call you one, like just because you got blood mooned, it's like the most feels bad card in the world.
Yeah.
And I blood moon you, and then you don't get to do anything, and you die in Modern, right? At least like I can say in Legacy, like you should have mulled the Force of Will, you moron. Like at least you can flame people, and then like there's this dumb excuse in Legacy of like, well, yeah, you're right, I should mull the Force.
No, I think it was,
which is like the common. I love it. It's just so funny to me. Like, yeah, you should have mulled the Force. And you think this format's healthy? Like I'm sitting here being like season really gets paid. Me and Dylan were like laughing about it. We were talking about this, like, we weren't actually calling anyone in. We were like talking to each other, like if we were playing, right?
Yeah.
It's like I just turned one chalice you. He's like, well, yeah, I should have mulled the Force. That's my fault for not mulling every hand that doesn't have Force of Will and Legacy that you don't know what you're playing against. Healthy format. Format's in a really good place, Alex.
Sounds like it.
A lot of close matchups.
Got stormed on turn one because he didn't mull the Force. Your fault. Your fault.
Yeah.
Format's great. Dude, but like in some ways in my head, I'm like, that is better than not having the option of like going to Force, because like post board, you can always be like, no Force, better mull, or like hope you have the Force, or like hope they don't go for it because they think you have Force. You know what I mean? Like get probe gone. That's a good thing, That feels better at least than just like, crappy blood moon me.
But just force the Git probe to hide information.
Get probe spanned.
Right, but when it wasn't.
Yeah. Just days it. Hope they played a tap land. One of my opponents actually though, like, so I blood mooned three people throughout Saturday.
Yeah.
Literally none of them played around it out of my mono red deck that plays like off the play set of blood moons in the sideboard. Like no one played around it. They just like my Wilderness Reclamation opponent just fetched non-basics every single time. And then just got blood moon and lost on the spot, which I think you saw.
I didn't see that
Or
one.
you saw
but-
that one.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, just lost on the spot.
Yeah.
And then my Boggles opponent also just lost on the spot. And then someone else I got with it too. Oh, my Jund opponent. My Jund opponent didn't play around it. Just fetched Overgrown Tomb, Stomping Ground, and then took like 4 damage total to like fetch something else. And then I just like blood mooned them. And then I hate that card.
Love to see it.
I hate that card so much.
Blood,
I literally apologized to every single opponent I did it to. I was like, Blood Moon, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Blood
sorry.
Moon's just out here being the police of Modern, keeping everything fair and honest.
As I resolved it, I was like apologizing. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, like, should have played around it.
Blood Moon's the card we
Should've
need
mulled the
right
basics.
now. It's the hero we need.
I hate that card so much.
Let me tell you.
I can't like think and talk about Modern clearly and accurately because of my
Recent
just-
experiences.
yeah, dude. It's like was gonna be our topic for today about how like recent experiences like taint you,
Yeah, we can just talk about it now. It was
was
something
like-
we were going to bring up.
talking about how that guy 16-0'd,
Yeah.
And it's like, so he's like, this is the greatest deck. And I fell for that too, right? And all these people are like, man, look, this guy went undefeated at the SCG. Like,
Yeah, everybody fell for it.
Everyone fell for it. And everyone's played it. And it's like, that deck's trash. It's just like, and I didn't make any changes I should have. Like, I should have had Lightning Axes, like, or maybe just more Bedlam Revelers even. Like, you know, just ways to actually discard Phoenix instead of just it rotting in your hand and then you dying. Like, I don't, like, Ben and I on the car ride back, we're like, I don't know how that guy 16, like, went undefeated. We didn't understand. Even Goldfarb says that all of our experiences were the same. Like, the deck's just not good. So
the current working theory is that, like, he clearly just got very lucky while he was playing, like, had good draws, like, things lined up well. And because of that, in his, like, reports and stuff, doesn't see or doesn't talk about the faults of the deck.
right. And I think this is pretty common when someone, like, there's like an R Spikes tournament report, right? Someone's like, man, I smashed. And they're incapable of seeing, how they got lucky and how variance contributed heavily to the performance, right? And that the deck isn't, like some bannable monster. It's just you ran hotter than the sun, right? And
Which is how you win tournaments. So
right, exactly. So it's difficult to determine. It's like always not a clear picture of, oh, this deck's actually great versus, they just, they ran really hot and that's how you do well in tournaments. It's not, I think that's why I even said on the KCI thing, like, well, I'm not sure yet if we should ban it. Maybe we should wait. But in Modern, if something's putting 3 to 4 copies in the top 8 every single time, then we probably got to ban it.
Yeah, it's probably like the most useful tournament reports to read are the ones where it was like, 3-3 finished. The 3-3 at my local like PPTQ finished 13th. Like, here's why I lost, and here's the one game that was good, and like here's what I'd change. But no one writes those.
Right? Yeah, no one writes those tournament reports.
No one wants to read those tournament
right,
reports.
but they're
They're what's good for you. They suck to read because they're like medicine.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, they're the Buckleys. They're the Buckleys of the competitive Magic scene.
Sounds awful, but it works.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, because those people, like, if you go 3-3, you had 3 rounds where you saw why the deck can be good, and you had 3 rounds where you saw what's wrong with the deck, or you. But in either way, you see something that you can improve in one of those 2 things.
Yeah, the tournaments where, because if you read that guy's report, it's just like, oh yeah, just like attacked him for 12 on turn 2, and then he died on turn 3, then he scooped on turn 3 when the writing was on the wall. It's like, deck's nuts, It's like, well, yeah, but I didn't have that happen a single time across 8 rounds. So, like, why aren't you writing about that,
So we've mentioned this a couple times that I have this, like, we joke about it, that there's this flip in my performance between F&M and the Saturday tournament the next morning. That, like, if I 4-0 F&M, I'll just, like, scrub out of the tournament. And if I do poorly at F&M, I'll, like, crumble the Saturday tournament. And it's probably this. If I do poorly at F&M, I see what was wrong with the deck. I change things for the next morning. But if I just stomp an F&M, I, like...
Deck's perfect.
Like, go get drunk. I, like, go get drunk and show up hungover and, like, don't change anything and don't think. Because I'm like, this is easy. Like, I 4-0'd last night and then, like, make dumb mistakes or, like, don't draw as well and lose.
Well, hold on. Back up. You went out, you got drunk, and played hungover. You maybe it's not always just
no, because I do that anyway.
We do that every time.
So it's a control.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a control factor. Yeah.
I have to do it now scientifically, otherwise the results won't be valid
for the
compare to the past
for the greater good.
Right on. Yeah.
I did it on I lost in the top 8, but we did do it in Toronto.
Well, I mean, like, are you really playing a Magic tournament if you're not hungover the morning of?
We shouldn't encourage abuse of substances. No, I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
It wasn't abuse.
No, it was perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, it was a reasonable. I drank a glass of water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was just
you're
a
fine.
couple of adults, having a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try and put us in a cage. We're just being free, wild and free.
Yeah.
But So I think this is a common problem, though, and I think that's sort of, I usually don't fall victim to this. In fact, I'm usually very skeptical of any deck that does well. Even Cam's pointed this out numerous times about a deck that I'll be doing very well with across multiple events, and I'll just continuously say, I don't know if it's good, though. Like, I can't tell. I'm
Yeah,
still
you constantly
trying.
think it's bad.
I think it's bad. I'm still trying to figure out if it's good because I think it's safer to err on on the side of, well, it still needs work and it's still going to be improved, or I'm not playing it right still because that's safer. I think that it's like you're just doomed to lose if you just go in thinking, yeah, dick's nuts. I don't need to change anything else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have easy matchups. That's how you get smashed because you're not thinking of like, okay, well, what are they doing to try and make the matchup better? How are they sideboarding? What are they? Why would they still play this deck if I just have like free wins here? Why are these guys like willing to play? Why are these guys willing to play black green into Tron? You know what I mean? What do they know that I don't? Right? Like you can't just assume. I think the mistake is like you just assume everyone's dumber than you. This is like just such a terrible mistake people make when playing Magic. Like, oh, this guy's bad. Like, I'll just assume he's bad, and then it turns out they're just baiting you, and you get crushed.
My opponent doesn't have sleeves. I'll keep.
Yeah, keep a no-lander. Keep. Yeah, debated. So, yeah, I think this is similar sort of like confidence that can trick you into thinking you're fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, this matchup is bad. Well, like you can usually fix it. People aren't just people aren't just formulaic robots. Actually, for the most part, sure, a lot of people at tournaments might be, but the people who do well aren't just going, oh, I'll just play this exact same list I've been playing for a year. They're going, okay, yeah, there's lots of burn. People are talking about burn being nuts and like Phoenix being nuts. Okay, I'll play Coursers and Anger of the Gods main, like Andrew and Mike did.
Yeah.
And then they do very well because of it. So yeah, sure, there's no like huge modern metagame just because the format's so diverse, but you can still make small adjustments that, can help. And I think that's really important. And they made adjustments and they did well. And I didn't make adjustments to the deck and I regret not,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense. All right. Well, we already had our blowout of the week.
Oh, well, there were several.
Yeah.
There were definitely other ones, but I'm trying to remember. There were a lot of really good stories from this weekend. That was one of the funnest parts of the GP. I forgot how much fun that was.
Mm-hmm.
Being at a paper tournament and everyone just sharing hilarious stories when they got blown out.
Yeah, every round, you'll walk up to someone or your friends will find you and be like, you won't believe what happened.
Yeah, did you guys hear about like Adam's round one match? Because when that guy just threw away the game, just gave him the win.
Man, I've told you two
That
guys.
poor guy knew it too, man. He was cool about it. He took that super well when he punted against me, and he just goes,
Cam and I were watching, but we couldn't really see the board, and I just saw him do something and then cringe real bad. I'm like, Cam, something bad just happened.
Yeah, I was dead. So dead. No, only one possible out of my deck, which is I draw, light up the stage, full cast it for full. I'm top decking, and he's at 4.
Yeah.
I cast, light up the stage, reveal lightning bolt, gut shot is my only out. But he thinks he has lethal and he attacks. I'm like, go to 1. He's like, because he's shocked to leave back a blocker in case I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He just did. I don't know. And he shocked himself to 2, and then I just drew a bolt and killed him. But I actually had no outs if he just like attacks me and then attacks me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I felt so bad for him.
I told you two guys about how I lost the second game of my top 8 draft, the amplifier RNG.
No.
I didn't tell you guys?
No.
I've been telling a bunch of people. So I just assumed I did.
All right. Blow of the week. Let's go.
Go on.
Okay, so game 1, I ran over by 2 Troll Red Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? It's hard to block that thing with 4 2s. Game 2, it's like closer. I carnage him at one point, so he's like down to 1 card. We're like kind of trading. We have equally sized creatures. I have like a 5/5 Undercity Scavenger. And he like drew for turn and it was a land bricks. So I'm thinking maybe I can start like clawing out of this. Then he draws, plays a Clan Guildmage, draws a card off it because he has a Guardian project. Then he plays an Amplifier and draws a card because of the Guardian project. So it's already pretty good. It's cycled. Next turn, immediately flips over a Nikia. Attacks me for 10. So I'm like, okay, take 10. Go to like 7. And so he's got like some creature on the board now. Hit me with this. Next turn, he's like, all right, upkeep, amplifier trigger. Flips over land. 2/3. He's like, okay, it's
Wow.
It's a 4/6. He's empty-handed. Flips over 6 lands and a 2/3. He's like, okay, it's a 4/6. Shuffles, bottoms those, draws an end raise, 400s me.
Oh.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah, just dead on the spot.
Oh.
Yeah. And Raid Forerunner is deck card not beatable and limited.
Yeah, but like, especially when your amplifier scries to it.
No, I know.
But yeah, that card not.
That's rough.
But that
man.
isn't. That is a beating of a scry. Scry 6. That's basically what he did.
Yeah, Scry 7.
Yeah, Scry 7. Leave the 7th on top. That's pretty good.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was an awesome weekend. It was an awesome weekend, though.
All right, that was a good one.
I had so much fun this weekend. I'm
Yeah, it
super
was a
glad we
good
went.
time.
I can't wait for the SCGs and next GPs. Yeah, I can't wait. It was super fun.
But yeah, he like apologized when he cast the End Race Forerunner. He was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like cast it. He's like, yeah, like trigger attack you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm dead. I start picking up my card. Picking up my cards, like the match is clearly over. And his friend's behind him's like, you missed your trigger. And he's like, no, I didn't. He's like, you didn't draw a card off Guardian Project.
That's the blowout of the week. Missing a draw? Jeez.
All right, thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic Cycle needs. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Facebook at the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast or on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/DWC Podcast. All patrons get access to the DWC Patreon Discord, and we have sweet bonus content for you, like our pre-show chats, and we have sweet DWC custom tokens as well.
I was playing Depose Deploy tokens with them all weekend.
Oh, yeah. And however you listen to the podcast, or with us on Podbean, iTunes, any podcast app at all, leave us a review, rate the podcast, share it with your friends. Everything helps this podcast keep growing and bring it to new listeners. And we'll catch you all next week.
If the snow doesn't get us.
If the snow doesn't get us.